I'm Johanna.
And I'm Klara.
And we're First Aid Kit. And you're watching Consequence.
Hey everybody, it's Jonah from Consequence, and I am here with the wonderful First Aid Kit, who has an amazing new album coming out. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're excited about the record.
Yes.
Coming out so soon.
Oh my God, yeah. And I've been loving it, which is no surprise. Of course, it's no surprise. But something that I really appreciate about it is, as much as I love sad music and getting into the feels, this record seems to be quite a pivot to like some positive feelings and some optimism. So I just wanted to dive into that a little bit and where that inspiration came from, and kind of how you came to this, better feelings, maybe a couple more smiles than frowns.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little deceiving, I'd say, because a lot of the lyrics are still pretty dark, but it sounds a lot happier. I'll give you that. But I mean, it was an intention that we had when we made this record, at least when we were touring our previous record, Ruins, which was just a very like depressing heartbreak record.
And you don't think about it like that much in the studio, but like going on tour is like method acting a bit when you're on stage. Like you're reliving the lyrics, like you have to go into the songs, and so performing them every night was just really difficult for us. And we wanted, like, the next tour, we were really thinking it had to be more, uplifting, like thinking back like to the recording process and everything. We just wanted to like have happy memories. I don't know, like it felt so important to us that music was something that brought us joy, because for a long time we didn't really feel connected to music anymore. We felt like it just become our job, and it's something that we were scared to lose. And so we just wanted this whole recording process and everything to be positive, and trying to write happier songs, although they're pretty sad still. If you actually like really read the lyrics, they're deceiving in that way.
So now I have to ask, did it work? Do you feel rejuvenated in the music creating process?
Oh, absolutely. 100% for sure. Yeah. I mean, we had a long break. And I think we really needed it. It was kind of like we were on this train that was just, going at, I don't know, I'm trying to think, 100 miles an hour, is that fast?
We're good at kilometers, so let's not even try. 200 kilometers an hour.
And it's like kind of getting to step off that train for a second and just look back and think about everything that we'd been through. So I think the record is quite nostalgic in a way too, just because we had that time finally to look back and appreciate everything that we've been through.
That's amazing. And so then when it comes to the actual recording process, what kind of techniques or sounds did you guys gravitate to like capture those types of feelings, at least when it comes to the sonics?
I mean, we really wanted to go for a different sound on this record, because we felt like, we've been making music for 15 years and we love our folky strummy guitars and pedal steel, but we just thought it was fun to try something else, mostly for ourselves, and that's why we gravitated towards these synths and kind of a slicker sound, more pop, 70s, still like retro, not modern pop, but like taking the best from the 60s and 70s and a little bit of 80s touches.
It was just fun. We were just having fun and being playful.
And that's what like was so amazing, is that we were stuck in Sweden because of the pandemic, and usually we just our first thought is to go to America to record with an American producer, because we're so inspired by
so many
music
American
from North
artists.
America. That's like our main inspiration, but now we were unable to, and we tried like sending stuff back and forth and through Zoom, but we can't do that. We need to be in the room when we're recording. It didn't feel right.
No.
So we ended up having to look to people in Stockholm. And we found this guy who we love so much. He's called Daniel Bengtsson. And I think he really helped us to find that joy in music. Like he's a really playful, positive person. And we realized that we need someone when we work who is like that.
And we're like that too, but it's if we get really excited too, and like we really matched, our energies really matched in that way.
Like when we're recording, we're just like, oh my god, that's so great, oh we're fucking amazing, like we're just like all
terrible,
the time just
terrible,
like
probably.
But I think we need that kind of positive feedback.
Absolutely.
Kind of feeling like you're on top of the world when you're recording.
Oh yeah.
100%. And I did want to ask about that because I think it's the first time you guys recorded in Sweden since like your first record or something like that.
We did our first record at home with our dad. Like we still live with our parents because we were so young. So he produced it. And then we went to Omaha, Nebraska to do Lions for Wednesday Gold, and then Portland, Oregon. To do the other one
with Tucker Martin.
It was really great for us because like I have a daughter now and I can't go away as much, and it's really nice to like just be somewhere and doing like a 9 to 5 studio session and then going home. And
to us it's weirdly luxurious to do that.
I know it might sound boring, but like it was really nice to just like let the songs kind of marinate in our heads. And because usually like when we go to studio, it's like we're in the US for like a month or less, and you have like 10 days to like get all the songs down, and you're working 24/7, and I feel like we'd often lose touch with where we were in the process.
What we were doing.
We didn't have time to go back to songs, and now we could like redo songs multiple times, and
which we did,
which was great.
Nice. And
I think it really benefited this record.
Because sometimes it would be like not songs that were on the records. I'd say we'd be very happy with those, but it'd be songs that
could have been on the record.
Potential, but then just we didn't find the right sound, and we didn't have time to kind of try different.
And it's such a shame because usually like
kind of if we have to the wayside,
if we have these extra songs and we don't put them on the record, we usually just never release them. Because we just feel like for us each record is like a document of where we were in our lives at that time. So a song that's like 7 years old might not feel relevant when we're making the next record.
So it'll never come out.
No. So
sad.
That is sad. All of us fans are now going to be like scouring the internet for any bootlegs or any leaks.
Won't find anything.
No, they won't.
It's all hidden.
So you talked a little bit about finding a slightly poppier sound, at least in terms of like a 60s, 70s context. And I know there was a lot of touchstones for you guys, influence-wise on this record. Everything, I think I saw you guys name everybody from like Fleetwood Mac and Carole King, all the way up to like Big Thief and Angel Olsen. So with, all these influences and even for any record, but specifically this record, how do you take all these sounds and songs and artists that you love and dial it into something that's like distinctly First Aid Kit?
Oh my God.
Well, I think we just try to write something that sounds like other artists.
That's very true. Yeah.
And then it just ends up sounding like us.
And then we fail. And it just,
that's kind of what happens. Like we're like, we totally wrote a Fleetwood Mac song. No, it's a First Aid Kit song. It's what we're aiming for, but we can't really get there. It's a good thing. We have our own sound.
I think there's definitely like you can copy someone, or you can create something that's kind of an homage to them, or like like you take something that you like from a song or an artist, and you make something of your own, and it's always going to be your own thing, because it's always going to be your own experiences and words and things that you're singing about. And
then when it comes to homages and stuff like that, I wanted to specifically ask about Wild Horses 2, because it's one of my personal favorites on the record. And and you guys are so good at it too, but I'm a sucker for when artists kind of metatextually reference like other songs in the pantheon and stuff like that. So just take me through that song a little bit, or just what was the inspiration behind that song?
I'm trying to remember, because I started writing that song on my own and we finished it together, which is a lot of the times how we write. I'm trying to remember where that came from. I think it was just like this idea of these two people. So it's a song about wild horses, and it's a road trip. This couple are they're listening to the song, and as the song or story goes on, it's like the fact that they like different versions of the song becomes more and more important, or like shows how different they are or something. I don't know. That's the idea behind it. I can't really remember, but I just like that it was a lot of like, it was just like a film in my head. Like a lot of the times when I write, that's like, I just envision it and I write it down, and oh God, I don't know. I'm explaining this now. Like,
no,
it's like, I don't know. It's so hard. It's like, it's so hard to even, I don't want to understand how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the songwriting part. It's like, there's some part of it that's just like this weird thing that happens.
But we love like referencing other songs, and we do that all the time. Like in our lyrics, there's like, oh, that's a line from Leonard Cohen. It's like, it's just hidden within the songs, and you can find it. Like, we like that being
definitely, because I love that personally when I can hear, you know, I listen to someone and it's like, oh, I know where that line is from, like where it makes you, I feel like you have something in common, and so it's kind of like, you know, we throw those in there. I mean, mostly because it just sounds good. It's like someone wrote it, and you just love what they, you know, they put it so well. You're like, I'm gonna take that. But then it's kind of nice if people can pick up on that. But that's a very obvious reference, you know.
Yeah.
Wild Horses. That's not. Yeah. We're not hiding that one very well.
No. And we're just obsessed with Graham Parsons, and we keep returning to him.
Yeah. Oh God.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Well
we need to other artists.
or not. Or
no, we
not.
don't. No.
Yeah, it's
like comfort food for us. Like his music.
Yeah, it really is.
That's amazing. You know what? And it's similar to the songwriting thing. It's like, I don't even know if I want to know why we love him so much. We'll let that fester.
Exactly.
And
I mean, I think it's hard sometimes with music because it's not something that we think about. Like even in the studio, it's like
so intuitive.
Yeah, and it's weird.
And it's not supposed to be like, I don't like when artists like overanalyze their own music. So because I feel like it kind of ruins some interpretation.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. I like it to be mysterious a little bit.
Yeah, but it's also weird how telepathically we kind of both, like in the studio, we just know when we like something. Like we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like it's like if I like it, I know you like it. Like it's just this. Yeah, it's cool.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's a good segue, because I did want to ask about your guys' relationship with each other, just because familial relations and bands can all seem to go like one of two ways. Like either it's amazing and they seem like, you know, like a Tegan and Sarah, and like, oh man, they're just so connected, or you could go the way of like the Gallagher brothers. So you never know which way it's going to go, but it seems like you guys are like the antithesis of the Gallagher brothers. So I just wanted to get some insight on how your relationship has grown or morphed, or you know, since you guys have been creating music together, and kind of where it's at now, and how it's been, you know, creating music for so long with your sister.
Yeah, there's a lot of like horror stories, but I feel like it mostly involves brothers. Like, not to be like sexist here, but I feel like, you know, in general, like I haven't read about as many there aren't as many, but I haven't read as
well. Also, like, I think it's also interesting because there's a lot of like I think people ask us a lot, like, do you argue, like kind of like catty, like that, just because we're women, we'd be like, I don't know. So there's some kind of stereotype there, and it's like, well, actually, if you look at the men who are like, they're the ones, their track record,
you know, stay together.
Yeah,
but it is hard because like when you're siblings, like I think a lot of people also compare you, like like we get compared a lot, and it is really hard for us to deal with because it's not a good thing. It's like really unhealthy. And we try not to compare it. Like we're so different. Like we're very different as people, Klara and I. Like, and it's good.
And it works. I think
we bring different things to this project. I think. And I'm really glad that we're not the same.
No, me too. But I think, I mean, we've definitely had, you know, our trials and tribulations along the way, because it's hard. It's I mean, you grow up with someone, and then we've
changed so much.
Yeah. And we're kind of supposed to always want to do the same thing. And that's just a lot of pressure to put on a relationship and each other. I mean, you are my favorite person. Like, I love hanging out with you. I do. Yeah. But you also drive me crazy more than anyone in the world. Like, there's no one I could be more upset with, but then there's no one I feel more comfortable with either, so it's, but it's definitely work. Like, we've gone to therapy and like, because it's like it's
well, I
hard.
think we just took the relationship for granted for a long time, and we just like had this naive idea about everything being so great, and then we kind of realized that doing this for so long has really taken a toll on the relationship. And a lot of what we do, like, it's not just getting up on stage and singing, it's so much more. And it's so many big decisions, like life decisions as well, that we have to make together. And that way it's like being a married couple. And so,
for sure.
We're really in this together, and it changes all our lives so much, whatever we decide to do. And when we don't, we usually agree, but when we don't, it's really difficult, and we have to like find ways to communicate. Because I do think what we have is like an incredible gift, like being sisters and singing together and music together. It is really special. But then also, like, our sister relationship is so much more important to me than our work relationship. Like, I really think, like, in the end, like, I want to have you by my side always. But I think, and not just like as first aid kit.
I think a couple of years ago, I don't think we could separate those things. And I think that was a big thing for us when we were like, oh, these are two different things. Like, we will always have a relationship whether we have this band or not. But kind of for a long time, it was like those were intertwined, and there was, without a band, there wasn't a sisterhood, but there definitely is.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's great to hear that work is so important, and it's also important to like not hide that and be like, oh no, it's so easy, and it comes so naturally. So I really appreciate you guys being like, yeah, listen, like, we're sisters, and it can be hard sometimes.
It's what we try to do in our music too. I think it's like, because I've had some people who are like, how can you be so brave and like write these lyrics that are so like bare and naked? And I'm like, what's the point? Like, why would we do it? And that's kind of how I feel about the sister thing too. It's like, I want to be honest about that, because it's hard. Like, relationships are hard, whether it's
a friend or family or romantic, whatever. It's always work. And you need to, especially communication, I think.
That's awesome. And kind of keeping with this reflective bent we found ourselves on, you talked a little bit earlier about how each record kind of exists as like a document of where you guys were in your life at that time. And I know that you guys just earlier this year celebrated 10 years of Lions Roar, and you had that cool live stream performance and everything. So, that being said, I'm curious what it was like revisiting that, 10 years on, when, you have such a strong association of time and feelings with each album.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just really proud of that record. Like, listening back to it, I think it's really great, and it's really like held up.
I don't really like, it's like, I don't think either of us ever really like go back and listen that much.
No, I mean,
like,
I have to sometimes. When I'm rehearsing songs. But it was nice to like rehearsing for this like session to listen to the songs that we haven't heard in a while. I mean, that was just such an important record for us. Like, it really changed everything. Like, going to Omaha and Nebraska and working with Mike Mogus and Connor Oberst and Nate Walcott.
I mean, it's just like the dream.
It was I feel like it was when we were like, oh my God, we are living.
Like, our lives have changed. And we are now living the dream. Like, that's really how it felt. And I mean, we had no idea like people were gonna love that record so much. Like, I mean, how could you? It was really I mean, we still play a lot of those songs.
I mean, most like King of the World, Lions Roar, Emmylou, Wolf, like,
we still play those
they're
songs.
Still our favorites. And fan favorites, I think.
That's amazing. Well, bringing it back to the present, I want to bring it back to close on the new album, because everybody should go hear it. It's just as good. Just want to wrap it up with if there's anything that you particularly want people to take away from the album, or anything along those lines of what you're putting out when it finally comes out?
That's such a hard question. Putting us on the spot.
Hard. I mean, like what I said before about being honest, and it's such a cliche, but it just is the truth. We want people to hear the record and feel less lonely, whatever they're going through.
I mean, it's like with all our records, like you said, we're just
it doesn't really change, does it?
No, it's always going to be the same.
The point of like why we're making them. And I mean, we're making them because we love making them and love playing music, and we love playing shows as well. So
I think that's how our songs, that's where they work the best. I really think like we're a live band. No offense to the record, but I think like, it's just like live that's just a completely different thing. And I think like that interaction is what we live for.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes. So come see them live. We'll come back to the States again soon. I know you just were, but
we are. We're gonna announce it soon. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us again today, and excited for everyone to hear the record.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.